Okay, today we will be finishing up the notes that we started yesterday. So on the back side of the notes, bottom two problems. These are some that are just a little bit different. So with the first one, the toughest thing about this is you only have two terms, so you need to figure out which one you're missing. So with this one, it's kind of the same as what we did last chapter. So this would be y is equal to 3x squared. You're missing your regular x, so plus 0x minus 7. And so my a value is 3, my b value is 0, and then my c value is negative 7. So I do my negative b over 2a. And so again, it's going to be negative, my b value is 0. And then on the bottom, I have 2 times my a value, which is 3. And so I get 0 over 6, which is just 0. So there's my vertex. My equation for axis of symmetry is x is equal to 0. Again, that's my axis of symmetry. And so when I make my xy chart, 0 is going to be the middle, negative 1, negative 2, and 1 and 2. And so when I do that, again, just plug it into the graphing calculator. Let's see. 3x squared minus 7. And when I go to my table, I get my y column should be 5, negative 4, negative 7, negative 4, and 5. So when I plot this, negative 2, 5, left 2 up 5, negative 1, negative 4, left 1 down 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, negative 7, and then back up. Really skinny graph. Something looking like that. Again, there's my vertex. The order pairs 0, negative 7. My equation for my axis of symmetry, I'm going to highlight it so you can actually see it. There's my axis of symmetry. It's the y-axis. And then this thing has a minimum. Again, it has a minimum because it has a bottom point. So there's my graph there. This last one then, again, same thing. What I'm missing is actually plus 0. It's my c value. So my a value is negative 2, my b value is negative 3, and then my c value is 0. And so again, negative b over 2a. So it's negative, my b value is negative 3, over top of 2 times my a value, which is negative 2. So I get 3 over negative 4, which is negative, ran out of room, negative 0.75. Still ran out of room. So when I do my xy table, so negative 0.75. And so again, if I think about this, negative 0.75, so negative 3/4, is going to be right about here, 3/4 of the way. So it's in between 0 and negative 1. So I'm going to go negative 1 and negative 2, and then 0 and 1. I want to show you this on the graphing calculator, so make sure that you actually plug this in with me, because it's going to seem like it's wrong, but it's actually right. So when I go to my graphing calculator, hit the y equals button. I'm going to plug in negative 2x, squared, there we go, minus 3x. So again, I go over to my table, and so what I'll see is I'm going to get different numbers on both sides. It happens because I have negative 3/4. It's not an even half. And so instead of it being symmetrical like we've always had before, this one's actually going to seem like it's uneven because I kind of have a weird decimal. It's not an even 0.5. And then the one thing that I want to do is go ahead and plug in, so hit my second trace. because I need to find out that negative 0.75. So I'm going to click enter for my value. It's going to come up and say x is equal to negative 0.75. And I get 1.125. Okay. So again, I've got my XY table. Got my negative 0.75, negative 1, negative 2, 0, and 1. And so it's negative 2, negative 1, positive 1, 0, 0, and then 1, negative 5. And then again, when I plugged in that negative 0.75, I get 1.125. So negative 2 is left 2, down 2. Negative 1, positive 1 is left 1, up 1. This one's going to be kind of tough, so negative 0.75. So negative 0.75 is right about there. And then 1.125 is just over. And so it's going to almost be like right next to that other point. And then I've got 0, 0, and 1, negative 5. And so again, it kind of looks like it should be wrong, but it is actually right. And so when I draw it, again, my axis of symmetry is going to be kind of weird because it's going to be 3/4 of the way in between 0 and negative 1. So there's my axis of symmetry. There's my vertex. Kind of highlight that axis of symmetry. There we go. And then that's going to be a maximum. So maximum value because it has a tippy top point. And then there's my AOS. So again, just make sure with weird decimals, things that aren't a perfect half or a whole number, when you have a vertex that's something like that, you will have like an uneven table. It won't look symmetrical, it won't look right, but it is actually right.